So I just bought some bunch of film for this year. So Kodak Ektar, Kodak Gold, Kodak T-Max 100, Velvia 50, Velvia 100, and some of the Cinestill film and brand new Can't Pen 400. So again, film price has been increased really a lot, and Kodak announced a few months ago that they will increase the price quite a lot on March 2023. Again, after a huge increase in March 2022. So, but also, on the other hand, Fujifilm keep discontinue most of their films. So film stock price get expensive as well. So obviously, shooting film is getting more expensive, and some of my friends already stopped using film camera, mainly because of the maintenance cost. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to save money if you're still shooting film in 2023. The first tip is to consider bulk loading. You probably heard about bulk loading, or you already know, but you haven't tried it yet. So basically, you buy a bulk film, which usually comes with 100-foot rolls, and load the film into the empty cassette using this kind of film loader. So as an example, Ilford HP5, the 35mm roll is about $13.50, and then 100-foot roll of HP5 is sold at $130 at the same shop. So this 100-foot roll will usually produce 18 rolls of 36 exposure film, which means if you bulk load, one roll film will be about $7.20 rather than paying $13.50. So you will save about $5 to $6 per roll, which is quite a big save. But you need to remember that you need to buy this bulk loader, which is usually 100 to 150 in Australian dollar. And also bulk film is available only in black and white film or Kodak Vision films. And another tip is to consider to try expired film. So you've probably seen a number of people selling some expired film on the market. Some of them are expired for a few months, some of them are expired more than 10 years. So to be honest, shooting expired film was a relatively cheap way of shooting films, as well as trying lots of old film stock, which is very fun as well. So I've got Natura 1600 and Pro 400H and original Acros 100 film from Fujifilm. So even last year I tried Fujifilm Astia and Reala, which is discontinued, and my film was expired more than 10 years, and I enjoyed shooting and happy with the result as well. But these days some people labeled as a vintage film, emphasizing it's rare film, asking ridiculous price. So in my opinion, paying expensive cost on expired film is not worth it unless you have a specific reason to shoot those films, like infrared films. So if you find good price of expired film, which should be cheaper than what you can buy from the shop, you might want to try and have fun. So this is another tip I really want to tell to a lot of new film photographers. So lots of film photographers are crazy about some of the premium film stock, especially Kodak Portra film. So I'm not saying that those films are not good. So Kodak Portra is one of the best for the reason. So have you tried more affordable films like Kodak Gold, Kodak Color Plus or Ultramax, or even Fujifilm C200. So these film stocks are about half the price of Kodak Portra in general in Australia. So these are amazing film stock. But I've seen many of new film photographers haven't even tried this relatively cheap film stock, as everyone recommend them absolute Kodak Portra. So why don't you try this time? So this is another way of saving money quite a lot. Obviously, film price has been increased quite a lot, but also developing and scan at the lab is not cheap. So I usually pay $16.50 per roll of developing and scan, but I've been developing and scan black and white film at home, and it costs very minimal as chemicals are quite cheap. But still, you need to spend a bit of money to start with, buying developing tank, some of the basic chemicals. So if you're not confident to start self-developing, you can still scan negative at home using this kind of film scanners, or even you can use the mirrorless camera to scan your negative. So if you just send your film for the develop only, then it costs only $9.50 per roll from the lab I use. So by scanning at home, you will save about $7 per roll, which is quite a lot. So my last tip is more psychological aspect. So if you think about the film camera itself, it comes with several different formats, like 35mm, medium format, and large format, and have some half frame camera as well. So it really depends on what kind of photo you're taking and what's the reason of using films. So 35mm film is more for standard format these days, which will produce usually 36 frames per roll. But if you try this half frame camera, you can take about 72 frames with the same roll of 35mm film, which is double the number but half the size. So on the other hand, my main film camera is this Hasselblad 500cm medium format film camera, which can take 12 frames per roll, which is only a third of 35mm films. But while I've been using medium format, I spend more time on each frame, and at the end I get more photos that I like from each 12 frames than 36 frames on 35mm film camera. So many times it's more about how many quality photo you get rather than how many photo you can take. So that's my 5 tips of saving money for film photography. But still, shooting film is not really cheap these days. You better to have a reason to shoot films. So do you have any other way of saving money while shooting film? If you do have, please share on the comments below so other people including me can benefit from it. So hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.